Thank you, everybody who came. I wasn't expecting such a turnout at this hour of the morning. Disclaimer, I had really little sleep last night, so yeah, if this is terrible, you'll know why. All right. So, well, thank you for coming. This is my first book, so it's a really endearing task to write a book. And I got inspiration also by a person that came here in the audience, by Luca, in Lugano. We were having some chats. He encouraged me to write this story about Argentina because it's something that is not told here in Europe. You don't speak much often about what happens over there so far away. But we have a crazy story to tell, right? And also he encouraged me to write the more esoteric aspects. So the last part of the book is also more spiritual. It's more mystical, right? So let me tell you a little bit the story about my country. So Argentina is a country that didn't exist like 220 years ago, right? We were really poor, really savage, a lot of people that didn't know how to read or write. But there was a group of people that were so far ahead, advanced, and they did a constitution, classical liberal constitution in 1853. And Argentina really changed around. So we started getting immigration, and people in Europe, fleeing Europe, they chose either New York or Buenos Aires, right? So by 1910, we were a world superpower. So from complete disaster in 1820s or 1830s, global superpower by 1910, 1920. So sadly, that immigration also brought the new ideas common in Europe, like socialism, communism, anarcho-communism, and so on. And we started having military coups in 1930. And those military were fascinated with Mussolini and Hitler, right? And 1935, we had the first central bank, and also at the same time, the income tax, just like in the United States, right? And we started a downward path also since the 1945. I know, have you ever heard about Perón? President Perón, yeah, and Evita? Yeah, I brought here, I'm gonna show you a few things through these moments. We have like 15 minutes, right, today? And I'm gonna pass this around. This is a school, my father was in first grade, and they taught him how to read or write by writing, I love Evita, I love Perón, Perón feeds the doves in the main square, and so on. So in case you want to see it, Happy Children it's called. Yeah, Happy Children. And also I'm going to pass around how we destroyed 5 different currencies. So in total, we took out 13 zeros. So these are the currencies. I don't have the first one, which was the longest running one. But in 1970, we started the disaster. We took out 2 zeros. So 100 of the first one became one of these, right? This one lasted 13 years until 1983. In 1983, we rebranded to Peso Argentino. And this was the worst because we destroyed this one in 2 years. From 83 to 85. Imagine that track record. And we took out from this one 4 zeros. So 10,000 pesos lei became 1 peso argentino, right? So when I was born, they introduced the Austral plan. And the Austral was even more valuable than $1. 83 cents of these bought you $1. But how many years you think they took to destroy this one? No, we took 7 years, but in 4 years we were already in hyperinflation. By 89, we were in hyperinflation. So they decided, a new government, whenever the exchange rate got, so remember, from 83 cents for $1, we got up to 10,000 Australes for $1 in 7 years. And they say, whenever this happens, we're gonna kick in sort of like a tether, convertibility. It's a peg. 1 peso, $1. So in order to print this, we needed $1 in the central bank. This is a really rare one, so please don't keep it because it's number 58,000. So they had only printed under $60,000 when they printed this one. All right, I'm gonna pass it around. And now we're gonna show you some images of a crisis we had in 2001. But now we need over 1,000 pesos to get $1, right? So in total, we took like 13 zeros. We could also now take 3 more zeros, so 16 zeros in total. It's a disaster. And in 2001, we had a really, really big crisis that really got to me. I was a teenager, right? And the government one day said, we're going to implement a sort of CBDC experiment because they told us from Monday, nobody can withdraw cash from banks. We are only allowing you to withdraw 250 per week, either dollars or pesos. But if you had a 60,000 or 100,000 or 1 million, like if you're a company or whatever, you cannot withdraw it, right? You can only pay electronically, like wire transfer, check, debit card, credit card. Everybody got trapped inside of the system. And how much time I have until 11, 12, 10 or 5? Let me know. 10, right? All right, awesome. So everybody got trapped inside, and a few interesting things started occurring. And for me, I was fascinated with the economics. For example, there were people willing like to take in your wire transfer and take a cut, like 30%, 40, 50%, and give you cash immediately so that you can get out of the banking system, right? And also, my father had a shop, a business, and there was a guy coming, and my father gave him dollars, and this guy gave him 15% extra pesos. But the exchange rate officially was still 1-to-1. So this fascinated me because all my childhood I had lived in this 1-to-1 peg. So why was somebody paying 15% extra, right? Like giving you 15 extra free money, right? And he told me, no, he's an arbolito. He's a little tree, right? A little tree in Argentina are now people that are on the streets shouting cambio, cambio, exchange, exchange. And in Argentina, most of the market is in the black market. It's all, and for us it's totally normal. It's without the black market, Argentina would not function. It would halt, like collapse immediately. And this is what happened that that December of, let's see if, hold on. Come on. It's not this side. Yeah, this side. All right. To the left. So we started having riots and looting and so on. Hold on, we have audio. This was because of the restrictions to remove money from the banks. This guy became famous. This the shop owner. Oh, I think I lost internet there. Let's see. I'm not sure when it's not connecting, but we know him like the crying Chinese because they looted the shop and they even took like the Christmas tree and so on, and then the riots intensified. And the best idea the president had was to put like a curfew. He gave a national address at one day, and he said, you're not allowed to leave your house like from 8 p.m. till 6 a.m. the next day. And what did the Argentines do? Well, they rioted even more the next day, right? Friday, December 20th. It was famous because on that day, he sent out the police on horses to fight the people, 20 people died on the main square that day, right? All right. And then I always lose the mouse. Sorry for that. And then we watch how the president escaped. The presidential helicopter landed on the roof of our White House, right? And he went through the roof, climbed onto the helicopter, and flew away, right? And yeah, it's like a comedy. Yeah. And we didn't have a vice president because he had resigned 6 months prior. So the country was without head, right? Without president, and so on. So then Argentina had 5 different presidents in 2 weeks. We were going through the succession line, right? There he went. And people started booing. They were surrounding the house, right? Then this president lasted 2 weeks, right? And he said, he started talking about the debt of Argentina that we have to the IMF and to all the creditors. We're going to take the bull by the horns, he said. We're going to talk about the external debt. And I announce we're suspending the payment of the debt, right? And these are all the congressmen, all the senators, deputies, etc., cheering. We defaulted, like we're champions. Standing ovation, right? Let's get up. And now we're gonna hear it very soon. Have to wait for it. Yeah, I'm a badass. Yeah. Argentina, Argentina, Argentina. Yeah, champions of the default, right? And last video, promise. We're running out of time. The next president, he had this famous phrase. He said, we're going to respect the currencies in which you did the deposits. Whoever deposited dollars will get dollars. Those that deposited pesos will get pesos, right? This is his inaugural speech, but no, everybody got pesos. So if you had like $1 million or $50 million in the bank, whatever, they took all the bank accounts, they put 0, right? And they multiplied it by 1.4, and they added you in the peso column, right? So if you had $100,000, now you have 140,000 pesos, but the market, the exchange rate was 4 to 1, not 1.4 to 1, right? And they call this asymmetric specification. So we are always inventing terms and so on. So yeah, this is a tiny recap of the 2001 crisis. And ever since, we've been inflating the currency little by little. At first, it was 10% inflation, 20, 30, 50. We got up to like 200% last year, right? And well, now we are with Milei, and I'm not sure. I can tell you a little bit. No, I'm not there. So I can tell you that Milei was just like one of us, right? He became a libertarian in 2014. He sent me a friend request. Perhaps later I can show you the conversations. And I've been trying to orange pill him ever since. But you can talk with him like for 2 minutes, and he will say, "Yeah, I'm all in for Bitcoin, right? It's a private money, and I am all in for private monies." Right? So for him, it's like just like any other private. Ethereum is the same, right? Cardano might be the same. Yeah, a crypto. And he even had like shady dealings with scam coins that offered him money to appear on a photo shoot, right? Or to give a talk. So that's the sad aspect of it. But at least many in the government, in the cabinet, like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is a woman, Diana Mondino. She's been a Bitcoiner ever, like also since 2014. I guess she's the one that gets it the most. But it's going to be a country that is going towards monetary freedom, right? And Bitcoin will fall inside of that. So whenever Milei actually gives us that freedom, because we still don't have it, Argentina still has exchange restrictions, so we still are in need of the black market, right? Imagine this country, there is no mortgage market, so whenever somebody wants to buy a house or a building, we buy it in cash. So a suitcase with $300,000 or $1 million, we count it on a table, right? There's a notary present, we sign the contracts, and off the other person goes, right? That's how the whole country operates, right? When you buy a car, a used car, you pay with cash, right? Dollars, not pesos. So well, I hope you can learn a lot of Argentina, and whenever you see the things that Argentina do, I like to say Argentina things, you can get a sense of, oh no, this country is going the Argentina way, right? We are copying Argentina. So I hope, well, that you can get some lessons out of that. And that the book is not only about Argentina, it's also about Bitcoin, also about the more spiritual aspects as well. So, well, I hope that you are able to read it and really enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Ariel, thank you so much. That was actually quite an emotional presentation to watch and a beautiful reminder of what we're all doing here together with one another. My question is basically, I suppose, about the general psychology in Argentina. You would think that a population that has been through so much financially would be extremely ready for the orange pill. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's a great question, because that's one of the reasons why I came to Europe. It's really hard on you when your life experience for 20 years is a decline, right? Imagine if your life, each year that comes after the next, is worse and worse and worse than the previous year. And your expectations are that it's going to get worse and more poor and a worse economy. So the attitude in Argentina, most people, it's like, they have a bad attitude, they're depressed, or bad outlook, or even what the government does through the education system and the media is they teach you to take the blame on the businessman, right? So the rich is the culprit of everything that happens to us, and the foreigner, so the American or whatever. And so people start like hating each other, right? And there's a lot of envy. So if somebody owns like a Mercedes-Benz, oh, he's a son of a bitch, right? He must have stolen or done a shady business. And also many people are not taught that you can make money like doing a business. So they believe, oh, he went into politics and he stole from the people, and they believe that's the way in which you have to get rich. You have to get into politics, steal money, and that's life. But anyways, Argentina has experienced a really interesting phenomenon. Actually, the reason why I got into Bitcoin is because we were building the first libertarian party of Argentina from 2009 till 2013. And so this is prior to Milei, right? And that started like a libertarian revolution, but of course, Milei has most of the work was done by him, right? So now in Argentina, if you go, and you may ask anybody, like sometimes leftist TV channels, they go on to people that look leftist or woke, right? And they ask them, what do you think about the Milei situation or whatever? And most of the time we get surprised because they say, no, these things that we have to change are necessary, and we need to close the central bank, and we need to and it's so funny to hear like a lot of the population saying, no, we have to close the central bank, open the economy, and so on. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you for everything. Let's give one last round of applause.